It's paper.
Paper 1, October, November 2020.
It's paper 2 or
Paper 1, yeah. October, November 2020. Paper 1. Are you there?
A second, sir.
Okay.
Come on. Patient. Multiple choice, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So what is the basic economic problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have excess supply of goods and services. We have lack of profit. We have recession. We have scarcity of resources. The basic economic problem is scarcity. So the answer is D. Question 2.
On which factor of production does innovation directly depend?
So when we talk about innovation, we're talking about is an attribute of an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur must be innovative. He must come up with new ideas to be able to make money from it. So it's directly depending on an entrepreneur, decision of entrepreneur.
Okay. 3, the diagram.
Which is A.
Okay. 3, the diagram shows an economy's prediction possibility curve, PPC. The economy moves from point X to point Y. What is most likely a factor this change?
So if there's a movement from point X to Y, this means that there will be different goods produced in terms of output at different levels. Because when you talk about PPC, PPC is the maximum of goods or services that an economy can produce when comparing to resources. The maximum the maximum you can produce in as much as you have all resources fully utilized. So if you are using the PPC curve, it means you have the ability to produce one good better than the other. You cannot produce both goods at the same quantity. So if there's a movement between X to Y, it means that what? Consumer goods will be more produced than capital goods. Do you get it? It means one goods will be produced more than another.
Okay.
So yes, a movement from point X to Y means that there will be different quantities of consumer and capital goods produced. So the answer is A.
4, which person makes macroeconomic decisions?
So when I talk about macroeconomics means economy as a whole. So who makes decisions about the economy as a whole?
B.
Government finance minister, yes. Question 5.
What is a function of the price mechanism?
So the function of the price mechanism is to allocate resources. So here we have
allocate goods and services.
Yes.
That's A.
Yes.
6, the diagram shows a shift in the supply curve for cars in China from S1 to S2. What is most likely cause of this shift in the supply curve?
So if there's a shift in the supply curve from S1 to
S2.
That's a leftward shift.
From S1 to S2.
Yeah, they said, from S1 to S2. They said the diagram shows a shift in supply curve of cars from S1 to S2. That's a leftward shift. A leftward shift here would be as a result of an increase in the wages of Chinese car workers. At that point in time, firms' cost increases. So they might not be able to produce more. Okay. Do you understand?
Yeah.
It's indicating an increase in the cost of production. So if it's an increase in the cost of labor, so an increase in the cost of labor might mean that firms reduce the number of workers. So this will shift the supply curve. Output will fall. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
it's C.
The price elasticity of supply of a good is 2. The price of the good then falls by 10%. What is the effect on quantity supplied? So
if the PES is 2, the formula for PES is percentage change in quantity supplied over percentage change in price. Then they said there's a fall in the price of goods. That's the negative. So we have PES to be percentage change in quantity supply divided by minus 10%. So minus 10 you cross multiply. So minus 10 multiplied by 2 gives you minus 20.
Okay.
Because PES is 2. PES is 2. Then the formula for PES is percentage change in quantity supplied over percentage change in price. Okay. So if we have 2 as PES, we are looking for the quantity, right? A change in the quantity. Yeah. Then we have a fall in price as 10. Okay. So minus 10. So you cross multiply. Minus 10 multiplied by 2 is minus 20. Okay. So the change in the quantity supply is minus 20.
That's B.
B. It fall by 20%. That's negative means negative means fall.
For A, a German car manufacturer builds a factory in India. A group of Indian workers at a factory join a trade union. What would this trade union be expected to do for the workers?
So when you talk about trade unions are a group group that are established
Mm-hmm.
to protect the interest of workers.
Okay.
So to protect the interest of workers, it means that they want to protect the workers against unfair dismissal by employer.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. The trade union protects the interest of workers, their members.
Uh-huh.
And one of their function is to negotiate salary increase,
Mm-hmm.
to protect them against unfair dismissal. That's another function.
Okay.
So which is D?
For the trade union, okay, who would
Negotiate.
negotiate for their salary increase?
No, trade union is a group.
Is a group.
It's an organization that is formed
Uh-huh.
with members being workers.
Being workers.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
So it's a separate entity.
So okay.
So what they do is they get their pay through the contribution of the members, because you cannot just be a member. You need to pay a certain amount of money to become a member. That's where they get. There are different administrative charges. That's where they sort their fund. Different administrative charges.
So if I pay,
You have to pay for membership fee
oh,
before you become a member of a trade union.
okay, if I became a member of the trade union,
So they protect you,
they protect me.
yeah, against any unfair dismissal. Whatever situation you might have at workplace, they protect you. They stand for you.
And I get paid from them? No, or just protection?
You become a member because you paid certain amount of money, right?
Yeah.
So they protect you.
Okay, do I get paid from them?
No.
No, they just protection from the special things that I get and they work.
Yeah. So whatever happens at your workplace, they are there to protect you. They influence decisions they make over you.
Okay, if I had a very high position in a country and I'm a member in the trade union.
Position in the country, no. You can't be a member of a trade union if you have a position, because that is politics. Politics and trade unionism doesn't work together.
Doesn't work together.
Trade unions are pressure groups. They influence government decision. It's for workers, not positions.
Okay, if I had my own business.
Your own business,
my own
your
business.
employees.
Yes.
Your employees might be member of trade union. Do you get it?
Yeah.
So it's not about you here. It's about your workers.
It's about my workers.
Trade unions are groups that are established to protect the interests of workers, not businessmen, not government.
So I only have the opportunity to be a member only if I was
if you're an employee.
Okay.
Do you get it now?
Okay. I don't want to be an employee. I want to run my own business.
Yeah. So don't worry, you have them to negotiate with. When they have when some of your employees are their members.
Yeah.
All right, we're going. That's question 8D. Done, right?
Why do women on average earn less than men?
Well, this is about discrimination. We talked about that before. So discrimination occurs when you are not treated equally. That's what it means.
Is this still happening for now?
It's good. It might. But it is illegal.
It's illegal.
Yes.
And like in general, sometimes women are for now getting paid more than men.
Yeah. So
that's a discrimination for men.
No, it's not.
It is. Just me tell you. For example, in general, not only for getting paid or something, even when you get to a place and there's a lot of huge traffic or something, women are first. They go first for everything. Yeah.
So this is what we call unfair discrimination. Do you get it? So unfair discrimination occurs when people with the same category, they have the same thing in common, but are not treated equally. That is discrimination. Discrimination is legal when it comes to differentiating between the quality.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So I'm employing you not because you're a lady. I'm employing you because you have better qualification, better skills than that man.
Yeah.
It's legal.
This is fair.
This is fair. It's discrimination.
Yeah.
It's legal.
Yeah.
But it becomes illegal when it becomes about race, about gender, about nationality, yeah, about religion and stuff like that.
Could we also discriminate regarding to the education level?
No.
No.
You can't. That's why I said qualification, no.
But for example, if you're more educated and you're less educated, for sure I'm going for the more educated person. This is fair discrimination.
It is fair, yeah. You're choosing the best.
I'm choosing the best.
So every business would want the best for
the best for their
company, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We go for question 10. The table shows how household spending changes with income. What is the lowest level of income at which savings are positive?
Okay, question what? 10, right?
Yeah, this is question 10.
All right, so the lowest level of income here
Mhm.
that has the lowest level of income that has a positive saving for 3,000 is 3,150. That is a negative one. You earn 3,000, you are spending 3,150. That's negative. You earn 3,300, you are spending 3,375. That's negative. You earn 3,600, you spend 3,500. That's positive, and that's the lowest income that has a positive saving.
That's for it's D.
3,600. D, is it clear?
B,
B,
or
sorry,
D?
B, yeah, B, 3,600, yeah.
We'll go for 11. What can a central bank increase in order to reduce consumer borrowing?
Yeah, to reduce consumer borrowing, you have to increase the rate of interest.
Mhm.
Do you get the point?
Yeah.
When you increase the rate of interest, it demotivates consumers to borrow from banks because the cost of borrowing becomes expensive.
Mhm.
Do you get the point? So when the cost of borrowing becomes expensive, people won't have the motivation to borrow more.
Yeah.
So borrowing will reduce. Yes or no?
Yeah.
So the answer is
D.
D, question 12.
12. In the short run, a firm calculates its total fixed cost, total variable cost, and total cost. Of the plots a graph showing how they change as output increases. What happens to the lines showing the total variable cost and total cost as output increases?
Yeah, for the total fixed cost, this is the total fixed cost line.
Mhm.
This is the total variable cost line.
Mhm.
The addition gives us our total cost.
Mhm.
So if
We subtract them.
no, we had
We add. You said the addition.
the addition, yeah. Yeah, it's okay. So if output increases,
Mhm.
the total cost will stay apart and will constant. The total variable cost will stay apart and constant. They will stay apart.
They stay apart.
Yeah.
Okay. So
That's the answer. D.
D.
Yeah.
They remain
Constant at a distance apart.
Yeah.
They have distance.
13. A firm fixed cost of $1,000. The table shows the variable cost at different levels of output. If the goods are sold for
That's question what?
This is question 13.
Okay, thank you.
If the goods are sold for $500 each, how much profit will be made from the sale of 4 units?
So we start with the total, or we start with the fixed cost. The fixed cost is $1,000. The variable cost is $350 for 4 units. Yeah.
For
4 units is there because the question is about 4 units. $350. So our total cost will be total variable cost, fixed cost plus variable cost, which is $350 plus 1,000.
350. Okay.
So that's one. So the total cost is 1,350. Done. Then we'll go back to the price. The price at each level is 500. At 4 units will be 500 multiplied by 4, which is $2,000.
That's the.
So total revenue minus total cost is profit. So 2,000 minus 1,350 is 650.
Hey.
Is it clear?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We go for 14. When is it most likely that the demand for labor in an industry increases?
So the demand for labor will increase because the demand for labor is a derived demand. Listen, the demand for labor is what? Derived demand, which means labor would not be employed until or only when it has a job to do. You won't employ someone to come and sit down and get him or her paid. Yes or no?
No.
Okay, great. As a result of that, it means that whenever an employee is employed, it means there's a job for him or her to do. So that's why we say the demand for labor is what? Derived demand.
Okay.
So if there's an increase in the demand for goods or services, if there's an increase in the demand for goods and services, it means firms would have to employ more workers to meet up the demand for those goods and services. Yes or no?
Yeah.
So there won't be demand. The demand for labor will increase only if there's an increase in the industry's product demand for the products increase.
Yeah, when the demand for the industry
products increases. So they will need to employ more workers to meet up with the demand, which is A.
15. What could cause internally diseconomies of scale for a firm?
Diseconomies of scale means an increase in the average cost of production due to expansion. So there could be diseconomies of scale here if there's poor decision as a result of poor communication. So the firm is increasing in terms of expansion. The firm is expanding, and the cost of expanding, communication process becomes slower. Then decision making will become slower. That is internal diseconomies of scale.
Okay.
You get it?
Yep.
So it's B.
It's B.
So merger is expansion. When firm A and firm B merges come together, that's expanding.
Yeah.
That is economies of scale.
Mhm.
But if, as a result of their expansion, it leads to slower decision making, then it becomes internal diseconomies of scale.
Mhm.
B, is it clear?
Oh yeah, I forgot when the process of buying another firm, the name of the
Integration.
process, integration.
Integration, yeah, that's
A
integration.
difference between no merger. It's different from
Both integration and you're talking about takeover, right?
yeah.
Yeah, we have merger, we have takeover.
They're different.
Yeah, but both of them are integration.
Both of them are expansion.
Expansion and integration.
Yeah.
Integration means coming together of firms. Firms can come together through merger or acquisition.
Acquisition.
Acquisition is takeover. Firm A taking over firm B. That is takeover.
Buying it with money.
Buying over. But firm A and firm B coming together.
It's an integration.
That's merger,
That's
integration.
merger. Oh, okay.
Acquisition is also integration.
Takeover.
Acquisition is the same as takeover. It is integration also.
Integration.
Integration could be merger or acquisition.
Okay.
All right.
So we have two types of
Integration.
Merger and acquisition.
Yeah.
Merger, which is combining together. Acquisition.
To become one.
To become one. Okay.
Acquisition means you buying over.
You're buying over. Yeah. Got it. 16. What are two aims that government normally pursues when managing the performance of the whole economy?
So government aim is to increase output of an economy. Government aim is to reduce unemployment in the economy. Government aim is to reduce inflation. So here, government will aim to increase production and at the same time, make sure that the price level does not what? Increases. So the answer is A. Clear, right?
Yep.
Question 17.
What is most likely to be responsibility of a central government?
The central government is the government, the federal government, the government of the country. So the central government takes charge of the immigration service. Here you talk about security cameras for shopping center. How is it the business of government? No. The provision of security staff at bank. How is it the business of the government? The provision of ticket inspectors on train.
No.
How is it the business of the government?
I think it's A.
Immigration, yeah. The government of the country takes charge of immigration services. So it's A.
Imagine a country taking care of the cameras in a shopping center. Oh my God.
No, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
18. Which measure would indicate that an expansionary fiscal policy
Fiscal policy.
fiscal policy is being used by the government?
So we're talking about what is fiscal policy. Fiscal policy is the use of subsidy and taxes to correct or to manipulate the economy.
Okay.
So when you say subsidy, that means government can use subsidy to correct the economy, or government can also use taxes to correct the economy. When government use either of these to correct the economy, we call it fiscal policy.
Okay.
So here, cuts in government spending would not indicate expansionary, because when you talk about expansionary means you are increasing output. You are increasing employment. That is expansionary.
Okay.
We have expansionary and I have, what's the second one? We have expansionary fiscal policy and I forgot. We have expansionary policy. This is expansionary and the other one is reducing the economy. But what's it called?
And expansionary.
No, it's not expansionary. Expansionary fiscal policy and this. I forgot anyway. Well, if I remember, I'll tell you. So for here we're talking about cutting. When you cut down, that is not expansionary. You are reducing. I need to find the name, but I can't. Maybe when I remember anyway. But the point here is that lower interest rate here. Interest rate is monetary policy, so it's not going to be expansionary. Monetary policy is for interest rate. Monetary policy is the use of interest rate, money supply to correct the economy.
Okay.
So it is not in interest rate. So B and C is not about it. So for B, high interest rate will lead to, I need that, C, low interest rate will lead to expansionary monetary policy. It means people can spend more, expansionary. Cut in government spending, that is cut in subsidy. Cut in subsidy would reduce the economy. So it is not A. The lower taxes will expand because when taxes are low, especially when income taxes is less or reduced or cut, it means purchasing power for people would increase. They can spend more. that will lead to expansionary fiscal policy.
Mhm.
The answer is D.
Okay.
So we have expansionary and can't remember. We have expansionary fiscal policy and I can't remember anyway. So we have two types of policies. We have expansionary side and I don't know. Well, the other one, well, the one we need here is expansionary, which is based on lower taxes. With lower taxes, you can spend more. That is expansion. Contractionary.
Contractionary.
Yeah, contractionary fiscal policy. I remember finally. So we have expansionary fiscal policy, contractionary fiscal policy. We have expansionary monetary policy, contractionary monetary policy. Contractionary monetary policy would be as a result of high interest rates. Expansionary monetary policy would be as a result of low interest rates. Expansionary monetary policy would be as a result of increasing money supply. Contractionary monetary policy could be as a reduction in the monetary supply in the economy.
Okay.
Contractionary fiscal policy would be as a result of increase in taxes or cut in subsidy.
Okay.
Reduction in taxes, which is cut in taxes, would lead to expansionary fiscal policy. Increase in subsidy would also lead to expansionary fiscal policy. Increase in taxes, cut in subsidy will lead to contractionary fiscal policy.
Got it.
Do you get the point now? For expansionary fiscal policy, it means you are increasing subsidy and reducing taxes. That's expansionary. For contractionary, it means you are increasing taxes and you are reducing subsidy. Clear?
Very clear.
Good. Finally, I got it. Question 19.
The diagram shows how government policy influences the market for biofuel crops in the private sector. According to the diagram, which policy does the government use and what effect does it have on the market?
Okay, well, if the supply of biofuel crops, now there's a shift to the rightward here, right? Then after a policy was used, there's a policy. The policy was used that has increased the supply curve or shifted the supply curve rightward. So the kind of policy that could have been used here could be subsidy. So if subsidy is used here, and it could also increase supply. Subsidy means that the cost of production would fall. And if the cost of production falls, parents will be willing to supply more, shifting the supply curve rightward from S to S1.
Okay.
From S1 to S2, right? Okay, so it is A. Subsidy, increase in supply. Is it clear?
Very clear. We go for 20.
That's A.
Yeah.
Question 28, 21 now. Oh, question 19, A. Now question 20.
Yeah. Some governments in the European Union are trying to reduce unemployment, which should increase to achieve this. With a great interest.
So if government wants to, they said government wants to reduce unemployment. If government needs to reduce unemployment, if government continue to import goods, that would lead to trade deficit. It's not good for the economy. If government increases interest rates, that means purchasing power would fall, investment will fall. Businesses will not be able to borrow more money from the bank. Then they cannot invest. If investment falls, unemployment will rise. It doesn't solve the problem. Taxation. If government increases taxes for firms, that means firms will be paying more taxes. They wouldn't have incentive to produce more. Unemployment will increase, yes or no? So government have to increase public sector spending. In the course of increasing public sector spending, it means government is investing more in the public sector. As a result of that, employment will increase, reducing unemployment.
Yeah, clear.
The answer is C. Clear?
We go for 21. In 2016, Romania had an increase in its real gross domestic product of 4.8%. What must this mean about the Romanian economy?
So when you talk about real GDP, it means it has been adjusted with inflation. That is real GDP. It has been, we have GDP, that's nominal GDP, and we have real GDP. When it comes to real GDP, it means the GDP has been adjusted with inflation. So I'm telling you the difference between nominal GDP and GDP now. Okay. So the answer is C. Total output of all goods and services adjusted for inflation. Is it clear?
Yeah. 22. An economy is experiencing rising prices, which government policy will help.
Why is it not D? It is not D because D is talking about manufactured goods. But in the economy, we're talking about total output. There's manufacturing, there is services, whatever it is. That's why it is C.
Okay. We go for 22. An economy is experiencing rising prices, Which government policy will help reduce consumer expenditure?
Rising prices is the same as inflation. Do you know that?
Mm.
Great. So to reduce consumer expenditure,
Mhm.
investing more in building infrastructure will not reduce consumer expenditure. Issuing more banknotes will lead to another problem. That means there's an increase in money supply in the economy. I'm talking about C option now.
Mhm.
An increase in the money supply in the economy. That is expansionary monetary policy. It's going to increase, it's going to lead to inflation. Because when a lot of people has money, a lot of people have money with them. They want to buy a lot. Demand pull inflation. So it's not going to solve the problem. D, reducing indirect taxes. When you reduce indirect taxes, it means prices become cheaper. Demand will increase. It will lead to demand pull inflation.
Yeah.
So B is not an option, C is not an option, D is not an option. So the answer is A. Government should come up with regulations that will make it compulsory for consumer individuals or income earners to start saving. So when government makes it compulsory for you to save, you won't be spending, yes or no?
Yeah.
It will reduce demand pull inflation.
Right.
So the answer is A.
23. Some goods take a greater percentage of a typical household's total spending than others. How was accounted for in the construction of the consumer prices index?
So for consumer price index, we're talking about calculating the price of the weight of food basket for last year compared to this year. So the answer is B.
Distribution of income. Okay. 25. Which factor in the world?
24. We just did 23.
Oh, okay. 24. A low-income country.
Yes, 24. Yes, a low-income country.
Okay. A low-income country experiences extreme poverty in its rural areas. What is possible cause of this?
So if a low-income country is experiencing extreme poverty in its rural area, it means there's trade restriction, which is trade barriers.
Okay.
So the answer is C.
Okay. 25. Which factor in the world's low-income countries limits their economic development?
Which factor in the world's low-income countries limits their economic development?
High saving ratio.
25, right?
Yeah.
Balance of payment surplus means that things are fine. High savings ratio means the economy is going well. Large inflow of foreign investment, the economy is doing well. Rapid population growth
as well.
The problem. So here I said ABC will lead to economic development, but D may hinder economic growth. Rapid population growth, this is as a result of population going above the resources available. So it's a problem. So if the population is just in rapid growth in such economy, things will not be fine.
Things won't be fine at all.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Then go to question 26.
The table shows the percentage employment in the primary, secondary, and service sectors in 4 countries. Which country is likely to be the most developed?
So let me quickly define what a developed economy is for you. A developed economy or a developed country is that country that has its largest employment in the service sector, which is the tertiary, and has its lowest employment in the primary sector. So let's check country A. Country A has the lowest in primary sector, and it has the highest in the service sector.
So it's A.
The answer is A.
Yeah.
Is it clear?
Okay.
26.
27. A government is faced with an unwanted deficit on the current account of its balance of payments. Which action is most likely to reduce the deficit?
When we talk about current deficit, it means import is more than exports. So what will government do to reduce this? To stop imports, yes or no? So let's just go to where we find it. They said raising government spending on welfare benefits. This makes them to have more money. They will do more imports. Reducing income tax. When you reduce income tax, people have more money. They want to import. Restricting imports by raising tariffs, yes. When you restrict imports by raising tariffs, it means that is trade restriction. So the prices of importation becomes higher. So people will be discouraged to import. That's the answer. But let's quickly go to D. Revaluing its currency. When you revalue your currency, it means the value of your currency appreciates. It becomes bigger. So that means your currency will buy more of foreign currencies. That means your currency will buy more imports.
Okay.
So it's not D. So the answer is C. Is it clear?
Very clear. 28. What is meant by depreciation and the foreign exchange?
Foreign exchange rate. Foreign. For foreign exchange rate, when the foreign exchange rate depreciates, it means the value of the currency is falling. So the value of the country currency falls. That's D. I already said that. It's D, right? 29.
The table shows information from country's current account of its balance
Yeah.
agreement. What is country's current account balance?
Yeah, for the country's current account balance. In the current account balance, you have your export of goods, you add it to your net services. Then your import of goods, you add it with your net primary income and your net secondary income. So the export of goods is 20 plus net services, which is 25. So your total there, that's what you get there, minus your net primary income, net secondary income, and import of goods. So net primary, that's 8 plus 8 plus 24, 8 plus 8 plus 24, that's 40. 20 plus 5, that's 25. 25 minus 40, that's minus 15. D.
Okay.
I work it out here anyway. Then question 30.
The diagram shows the value of the country's exports and imports of goods over 5 years. But in which 2 years did the country have an increase in the value of imports and improvements in its balance of trading goods?
So they said, in which year, 2 years, did the country have an increase in the value of imports? Increase in the value of import. Import is the blue one, right? Increase in the value of imports is between year 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yes. That's
And the answer is C.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So that's the end of paper
Paper
1, October, November.
We'll go for paper 2, October.
Yes.